All right, I tried something this spring. I've heard of guys using their leftover rye as a nurse crop for clover. So you can see I got a heavy strip of rye right here from last fall. I came in about a month ago and I frost seeded clover and alfalfa into it. So my plan is to either let this get somewhat mature, once it kicks out the head, mow it off, or I will just hit it with clethodim here at some point. So we'll see. I want to see if it's kind of seems like it's choking out the rye and clover, and if it does, then I hit it with cleth sooner. Otherwise, I'll let it go and mow it before it goes to seed. But I will do I'll do a follow-up here in a second and show you exactly how it turned out. All right, here is step 2 of the rye as a nurse crop process. So I got the sprayer with me today. I'm standing in my rye that was seeded into clover and alfalfa. If I get down into the rye, you can see all the clover and alfalfa starting to come. The rye is doing what it needs to do as a nurse crop. But today I'm going to terminate it because I don't want this rye to get too thick and too heavy where when we mow it we smother our beautiful young clover and alfalfa that's coming there. So what I put in the tank today was clethodim. I did not mix crop oil with it. I kept trying to read, because I've used clethodim a lot on clover. I have not used it on clover this young before. So I was doing a lot of looking to see if there were any issues with clethodim on clover this young. And the one thing I read is I think that crop oil can cause some burn on it, some leaf burn, and maybe even stress it a little too much where it can harm it or kill it. Just what I read online. So I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going without crop oil in the tank, just clethodim. I'm going to go over top of this and spray it, and then once this stuff starts to die back, we'll come in and mow it. So that's the plan. Time to get at it. Alright, so here's the beginning of June update. How the rye as a nurse crop is doing. Sorry, deer flies are starting to come out. So let's look down into the rye. Definitely working great. Now you can see this rye is yellow. I sprayed it about 3 weeks ago. So I decided to go with just cleth to basically try to stop the growing of the rye. And you can see it is yellowing pretty good. And underneath we got tons of clover. I'm sure there's alfalfa in there too, because that was in this mix. So far so good. What we'll do is we'll mow this off here, I'm sure within the next week or two, then really let that rye and that alfalfa come. We'll see what we got. It's August 22nd, and I would say that the rye did a phenomenal job as a nurse crop for this clover, chicory, alfalfa. I don't know that there's much alfalfa in here. Oh no, there is some. Boom, boom. I guess it's kind of scattered in here. I think some of it maybe froze out because I frost seeded, it germinated, and then we had one frost after that, which the clover can tolerate somewhat, but the alfalfa may struggle. But there is some alfalfa in here. But anyway, it is looking fantastic. So I clipped this here. That was about 2 weeks ago. We got bow opener in 3.5 weeks. So this should be pretty much perfect for the early season. Chicory looks good, clover looks good, and yeah, now as I walk I start to see some alfalfa, so that's good too. And it's definitely getting browsed pretty heavily. Getting a lot of activity on this strip of clover. A lot of activity heading out to these beans over here. to show them, man, all the beans look fantastic this year. Look at that. Just gorgeous. And you can see they're browsed very heavy. So, but yeah, the rye did its job. This is a nice clean plot. Only reason I clipped it is there was some little bit of ragweed, and I just wanted it to be in that young, tender growth stage for bow opener. We've had fantastic weather when I clipped it. Made sure to do that when the weather was nice and cool and rainy. So perfect time to cut clover, but this is just, I don't know, looks fantastic. I think that's going to be kind of my new seeding method for clover, is to use my leftover rye as my nurse crop. Look at this stuff. Just super lush and thick. So definitely a success. Got the highway laid out for them. Alright, y'all take care. God bless.